We're now going to discuss the process of installing or upgrading Chaincode. In this particular setup, we see Chaincode called VehicleNet has already been installed with version number of 1. Clicking through, we can see this Chaincode is installed across 4 peers on this network. We'd now like to query the Chaincode accordingly. In this user interface, I can actually type in the serial number of an existing part on the network. This particular part has been transferred twice already. We can see the initial created state and the subsequent transfers or updates on the network. Now what we'd like to do is actually upgrade this Chaincode to support part recalls. As we can see, this Chaincode initially started with the fields of serial number, assembly date, name and owner. Chaincode is essentially shared business logic that operates on a blockchain to modify ledger state. Oracle Blockchain Cloud Service, based on Hyperledger Fabric, enables you to write Chaincode or smart contracts with a Go programming language. Oracle plans to support additional common languages such as Java in future releases. This particular Chaincode is what is currently modifying state transitions on the ledger we just queried. As you can see, there are 2 objects here, a vehicle part and a vehicle. The vehicle part object does not have any field that deals with recalls. We'll need to do 2 things. First, add the required additional fields, and then extend the Chaincode functions to modify the recall state. What we have here is actually a proposed modification to the Chaincode. We see now the vehicle part JSON object now has recall and recall date. In addition, there's been a method added where we can actually use this to modify the recall state of a vehicle part. To take advantage of the modifications we've just made to the Chaincode, we're going to want to install it and then instantiate it so it's available to the peers for execution. So from the Chaincode tab, you'd want to install Chaincode. Type in the name of the Chaincode. It could be any name, essentially. Then upgrade the version to version number 2. Then you're going to want to select the actual modified Chaincode. Install it. Now with the installed Chaincode, we have to head over to the channel to then instantiate it across the peers. So on channel 1, where a Chaincode is installed, we can essentially see the instantiated Chaincodes. So we're going to want to update VehicleNet to version 2. With our Chaincode installed, we'll then head over to the Nodes tab to make our new Chaincode visible via the REST proxy. So we'll then configure that and restart our REST proxy. See restarted. The next step is to then execute a transaction and see the update to the ledger. I'm using Postman this time to execute a transaction. We're specifying a channel, being channel 1, the name of the Chaincode or smart contract, the method that we just added called set part recall state. Then I'm specifying in the argument the serial number of the part I want to modify, and I'm setting the recall state to true, and evidently we've changed the version from 1 to 2. With the transaction successful, we can actually proceed now to query the ledger. What we have now are 4 state transitions, the 4th one being the most recent addition, where we're setting the recall state to true.